Oh my God. It's me, the human target, the human. Look at this. I mean, it is after dark. Look, folks, I am so sorry I'm late. I hope word gets out that I'm here. I had a problem with the television that I got. I'm going to get in closer because you need my head, right? And literally, I was watching the press conference, right? And this is live, by the way. Rich Lieberman live after dark on YouTube and all the other assorted platforms who might be seeing me right now. I put out a plug and said that I was going to be live at about 7 Pacific, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. And now I am finally on. I had a problem. I touched a button on my new television that I've had for about 30 days, right? And I went into this whole consortium of pay-per-view channels, Netflix and streaming and Samsung, whatever, Samsung, and I can't get back to the cable setup, which is, the assorted 5,000 cable stations, and which I also lost the feed of. Well, I saw the press conference, which I'm going to talk about and mention a few things about Charlie Kirk, that you folks may or may not know. But is there anybody out there? I'm going to keep asking this, so bear with me, that could help me get back into the free television. Well, not free, but you know what I mean, where I can get out of the pay stations like the Hula, and other things, because I've been like doing this for the last half hour. So those of you who came here looking for me and gave up, hopefully word of mouth will circulate through the electronic universe, the gadget people, and I will come back into your living room, your bedroom, your garage, wherever you are, your computer room, and we'll get on with this show. But I am live. It is a Thursday night in the Pacific time zone, I guess. Still, yeah, on the East Coast, you're still on to a day that was very, very, boy, you talk about a crazy day. But yeah, September 11th. And the big story, of course, continues to be the whole assassination of Charlie Kirk. We had a press conference Thursday night, and they showed us more images and video now. And am I the only one out there who found it curious that this head of the FBI flies in to be here ostensibly to, you know, look at the situation taking place, get in on the investigation, trying to find this assassin, and yet he doesn't speak at the press conference? That was odd. And neither does the deputy, the assistant director of the FBI, doesn't speak at the press conference. Pretty bizarre in my book. So, look, I'm looking inside the room, and let's see here. Welcome, learn more. Let me see. Maybe I could get oh, I just screwed up again. Boy, I just messed up again another time. Let me see here if I can get back to what I was. Oh, there I am. Okay. So hello again. So I'm basically very late, and I will stay on here as long as some people show up. If not, think of this as sort of a live version. And now we're having people, and they're just join. Hi, hello, Miss Lauren, the one and only Lauren, a woman that makes me laugh, and I love her to death. And Lauren, if you were like, I know you have a certain, you're not, you know what I mean. I know, right? That's one of the reasons why. Oh, Lauren left. Is Lauren there, Bruce? Now we're getting everybody's show. It's a good thing I stayed, because I'm totally guilty, folks, for I said I would be here around 7 o'clock Pacific, and I know a lot of you are here. Where the hell is this guy? And I just explained to various people. We have, by the way, we have a great audience tonight. We have some celebrities, and I'm not just talking in the chat yet. We have comedians, we have nightclub owners, and I wanted to first of all set a time frame. Many of you watched the press conference from Utah. I found it odd that the head of the FBI who flies cross country to be here and to be in, ostensibly to be in the investigation, he doesn't speak at this press conference. Number one. Okay, so I'm going to put that out. And that's not why I'm doing a live show. I'm going to be after dark, and you are going to see some surprises. You are going to laugh, perhaps cry, perhaps say to yourself, geez, what did I just witness? A lot of things taking place. And I'm glad you showed up. I apologize for being late. I'll get back to the press conference in a second. But I have a new television that I got about a month ago. And I somehow pressed a button and I went out of the mode of free well, it's not free, it's cable, into the 100 sites like Netflix and Hulu or Hula, whatever it is, and all these pay sites. And I can't get back to the so-called free television. There's the CNN, which I'm also going to talk to about all of you tonight. And I even got a nugget, which I forgot to talk about because of the Charlie Kirk story, the assassination. And I didn't do a show yesterday, which I was planning on doing. And I waited a day, which I talked about in my earlier blog post on YouTube. And again, folks, Bruce the Moose, Pam Arnold. Hello, Bruce. Hello, Pam. Robin, you are an incredible woman. And Robin. God, I'm getting old. Lauren, Robin, Jiminy. I sound like the guy that does those all-night commercials, on hi, I'm Gene Stuckman, and today I'm going to talk about fish oil, and we have very much a live person, Larry King. Larry, what do you think about fish? And Larry is now with us, even though he's been dead for 2 years, doing hemorrhoid commercials and fish oil commercials. And boy, you know what? Danny Bonaducci is still doing. You know what Danny Bonaducci is? The Danny guy from the Partridge Family. He's doing hemorrhoid commercials, at least though he's alive, right? Larry King has been dead. In fact, Larry would announce his death as something like this, okay? So just bear with me. Those of you that like Larry King, you're going to get a Larry King, okay? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am calling you from heaven. I've been dead for 2 years, yet they keep putting my name on the but we're going to talk about fish oil. Fish oil, the heart. Saved me for 2 years. Schenectady. Hello. Okay, so that's Larry King. God, look at this. Unbelieving, whatever I am. Okay. Do you like the all-black consortium? Okay. Yes, I look like it in a game of hide-and-go-seek. See this shit up here? What the hell is this? I must have scratched myself and I didn't even know it. But anyway, so anybody out there who likes a nice, delicious chocolate milkshake, and I do mean it, if you help me get back from the depths of my smart TV algorithms back into the sacred ground of CNN and all that, I'm dead serious. I need help. I fucked up. And I have these 2 remotes here. And anyway, so I'll give you my number out. And if you want to interact and do something, look at this. Remember that show? What was the show with the thing? Remember the hand that came out? Somebody's going to say it. Mr. Dung, David McGill. Mr. What? I don't get it. Dung is crap. Oh, am I Mr. Crap, David? Oh my God, David, you're a comedic genius. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is something that Bruce will like and Lauren will like, and most of you, Pam, I guess you'll like, and all that too. And it's kind of melancholy, but bear with me. About 6 months ago, when I made my initial contact with Ron after not speaking to him for a long time, and Jan Black, they had indicated to me that Ron was on the Charlie Kirk show, the radio show, which he did on Salem. And at the time, I heard of Charlie Kirk, yes, but I didn't know the degree of popularity, the degree of especially amongst young people and all that. I didn't know that. So, and this is hot off the press, but those of you who maybe have some kind of a way of, going through deep into the weeds of radio or whatever broadcast, Ron Owens was on the Charlie Kirk show. How do I know this? I didn't see the actual show. Jan Black, his wife, told me. And apparently, what do they talk about? Who knows? This was before the indictments, but I just found this out. Well, I've known this for a couple of days, but I haven't been on. I was supposed to be on last night, but I was engrossed in what many of you saw, the whole Charlie Kirk tragedy. So, but I want to get basic for a second. I'm going to assume, I'm trying to get this closer. Good. Okay. I'm going to assume somebody's calling out. So they're either screwing with me or somebody is like, maybe word got out that I need help on my lovely TV, my gigantic, this thing is big. I mean, this is huge. But what I was going to say was, what was I going to say? Oh, what was I talking? Oh, yeah. This whole Charlie Kirk thing. And already people are, there's conspiracy theory. I mean, what is this deal with conspiracy theories, right? I mean, do people have a life? Or is it just the world in which we live in? Which, by the way, a couple of weeks ago, some of you saw me. I was very cryptic. A lot of you thought I was going to do this and kill myself or something. All I was trying to do was to convey the fact that the world in which we live in now is, I'm convinced, it's crazy. And that's the normal people who I think are crazy. You have the nutty, quite, sociopath nuts. Then you have the operational nuts. And I'm all over the map. I know. But I'm trying to piece together a timeline, and we'll get back to what I was talking about. So I'll go back to that in a second. But the show tonight, or the press conference, I have been watching this thing because I can't believe that they haven't caught this guy. Now, why do I say that? The guy that killed this suspect, person of interest, all these euphemisms. I don't point something out that this is something that has gotten, some of you will have theories on this. He blended in. This is what they're saying. He tried to blend in with the 3,000 people on the campus. Most of them were students. And folks, am I missing something here? Now, you've seen the images of this guy, right? He's wearing all black. He's got jeans, which probably are black or blue jeans. Got the black semi hoodie, a backpack that's black. Oddly enough, and this may have been as something as a ruse, he's not wearing gloves. But before I even get into that, he's in all black. Nobody thought that this guy could be, I don't know, suspicious. He's got a backpack. Who the hell knows what's in there? He has apparently the ability to go up to an adjacent building away from where Kirk was, about 150 yards now, they say, which would be right in the line of fire. You don't have to be an expert marksman to do what he did. Now, granted, he got a perfect shot still, a kill shot, as they referred to it. But who the hell blends in a hot Utah sun? It's about, 85, 90 degrees? He's in all black. He's got sunglasses. Well, that's fine. Does this guy look like he was blended in? Hello, am I saying something out of the blue? Blending in. And, oh, by the way, who the hell? You got the FBI. Not one, two people that they bring in, that they question, interrogate, do the whole, and then they're releasing both of these people. Now we have the footage. Most of you saw the press conference. You saw the still images. We saw video now that we didn't see yesterday, where they have this enhanced, incredible video of this guy, assassin, in the black aforementioned fashion. And he's up at the building to the left, about 150 yards away of the tent where Charlie Kirk was murdered. And it shows him probably moments after, well, it was moments after, dropping a good 10 feet to the ground. Now, folks, that's this guy, as somebody on CNN pointed out aptly, maybe they're looking at, I don't know, rock climbers, because this guy had to have been a rock climber, because he probably hurt himself. Anyway, his hand is all messed up. He drops 10 feet. You see him walking away, and then the end of the video. Now, that was taken yesterday. Now, am I crazy to ask this question? Where is this guy? This guy could be anywhere, right? He could have gotten help. He could have changed, probably did. He probably could have changed an appearance. Who knows? He could have a wig on. He could have, I mean, the guy, if he was that smart to pull this off and to have the precision and to get away and especially wearing the clothes that he had on, there must be eyewitnesses out there. And look, folks, I'm not myself painting a conspiracy. I'm going to get to the super chat crowd here. I see all of you. Don't go anywhere. Again, another Larry King. Don't go anywhere. But what I'm saying is, this guy, if he was expert enough to pull this off with shooting one bullet, they found the gun. They found, I guess they had a partial on the ballistics, and they're not going to tell us about that actual bullet. Did they take it? Did it go through Kirk's body? Was it still in his remains? I'm not trying to be crass here, folks. You know what I'm saying. But this individual, this person of interest, what the hell is that? Can't they just say a suspect? I guess legally they have to say person of interest. But those who see this guy, even though he's got the glasses on and he's got the black, which again, I cannot see how this guy blends in with the crowd, even though he wasn't in the crowd. He was up, maybe started out in the crowd, goes up to this building and proceeds to fire this gun. It's more like a rifle, a long gun, and he kills Charlie Kirk. And those of you like myself who are not experts, who are laymen on anything, I saw that image. I saw that video. And I'm not talking about the saccharine video, the one that they, as I complained about today, I said, screw this shit. We're not going to show the video. We don't want to glorify. Give me a fucking break. You're going to tell us what we can and can't see. Well, we're not going to show the video because it is graphic. And yeah, meanwhile, as you go to a fucking movie later on in your goddamn network that shows exploding heads and people getting fucking chopped and eaten to death, we're not going to show the video. How about you do this? How about you say, look, those of you who want to see this, we're going to give you a 10-second rundown. Tell your kids to go away. Do this, that. We are going to give you a 10-second runoff because we will show this video. Sorry, it's part of the American lexicon. It's a news event. And you have asshole networks like CNN, whom, by the way, I gave credit to and I applauded because they had news accounts and reporters on the scene immediately. Granted, from stations in Utah, no less. Nevertheless, they had reporters there right away, and they had pretty good coverage. What mystifies me, doesn't surprise me, is this shit. Well, we're not going to show this. We're not going to show that. We're not going to show a killer who guns down little kids. Why don't you show the fucking image? That's American. I'm not anti-American. I love America. I may have an issue with Americans, but I love this country. We're the wild, wild west. Political violence is in our blood. I'm not going to go off, even though I'm going off, on the violence that is part of our culture. And by the way, folks, this is not anti-guns or pro-guns. It's just part. I like how people say, we got to stop this. How the fuck can you stop what happened yesterday? You can't. Was there security? Not a lot. Was there issues involving his own security detail that they didn't have enough? Look, he had to know, which I'm sure he did. He's gotten death threats before. Now, nobody deserves to be killed like that. Of course not. And they're going to catch this guy, I think. Come on, FBI. It's crazy. FBI director flies out to this remote city in Utah, doesn't say a word. The governor says something. The communications director for the Utah Emergency Services says something. The fucking head of the FBI doesn't say a word. Now, reverse this. If this were done under the Biden administration, would not the Republicans, conservatives, people, whatever, would they not be having a shit fit, a shit attack? Where the fuck is this suspect? You got images, you got video, you got his fucking palm, you got probably some fingerprints. Maybe you don't, but you have images. You have not caught this guy. This guy could be in fucking Mexico. He could be in Cuba. He could be anywhere. You take two people into custody. One you question for over 4 hours. He then proceeds to alibi himself out of the way. Okay, one. We give you a pass. Another suspect that they bring in, that they question for many hours, interrogate, do all this shit, and they release him. Folks, do I sense this as Keystone Cops? Although it's different. This is the fucking Federal Bureau of Investigation and all these investigators that they have out here, and they haven't caught this guy. They now have images, and Lord knows they must have a lot of shit that they haven't told us, because maybe they're about to catch this guy. Maybe, I hope, and they don't want to give him a clue. Although I wouldn't think the guy has access to cable television unless he's in some kind of cheap motel. Let me go over to the super chat and say, Pam Arnold, hello. Hello, if she's still there. That would be Lauren. Lauren, you're a wonderful lady. And if you ever, one day, Lauren, if you ever have a, change of thought, like, well, he's kind of a nice guy. Okay. That was a semi joke, but all right. Let's see. Lauren Raid. Okay, that's somebody. Okay, Michael Zwirling. It's poor old TMC. Hi, Michael. If you're still there. Rich and the gang. Let's give it up for Michael. Give it up. Let's do a shout out. I hate that fucking phrase too. Shout out. Mike Swirling, everybody. And those of you on the East Coast don't know who the hell he is, but he owns a radio station in Santa Cruz. He was also in 1948. He was voted People Magazine's sexiest Jewish man alive. So give it up for Michael Zwirling. I'm just kidding. It was like 1998. Okay. Karen Cars, if you are all in the room, make sure you hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you very much. Correct. More cash means more theories. Rich can then eat and drink good coffee, like, the shit that I get, not from 7-Eleven, because that is downright, that is some shitty ass coffee, folks. It's cheap, I know, But first of all, it tastes like shit. Secondly, if you spill the coffee one day like I did not that long ago, it burns your fucking arm. Which reminded me of that story of the one. Remember the old lady, McDonald's coffee? She sued. They settled it for like, she got like 4 million. I don't know if you guys all remember that or give a damn, but whatever. What do we got here? Karen, let's see. Heather Dawn, hello. Daniel, hello. LOL. David, oh, the guy that called me Mr. Dung. All right. Let's see here. I mentioned Lauren, who was gracious enough to have me on her show, and I'm very appreciative, and I will prove it later on. Zane, the Adams family, yeah, with the thing, the hand. I know. Look at this. Hey, look at this. Rich's sex life. Let's see. What do we got here? Adams family. Thank you, Pam Arnold. Clayton was on Charlie Kirk, not Ron. No, I'm not talking about Clayton. I'm not talking about Clayton. Ron did do Charlie Kirk. So you're the one who is in the Pam. Clayton might have done Charlie Kirk. That's fine. Ron Owens was on the Charlie Kirk show. I know that. I haven't seen it. I just know it. They told me they were like very. This was a couple months ago. Did Jan Black and Ron. And I said, okay, well, that's cool. And of course, nobody knew at the time that this was going to happen. Just mentioning. Lauren, okay, Pam said hi. Hello there. Super chat. So, should I get back to what I was talking about, this press conference and all that? I just found and find it, present tense, amazing. And I'll get to Laura Owens in a second. I'm trying to do a whole bunch of shit here. Rich, how was your day today? Ellen. Well, the shit, I just fucked up my television. I went out and touched a button for which I have no idea what the fuck I did. Excuse me. But I'm angry because I couldn't see the rest of the press conference, although I saw enough. And then they had the pundits on to talk about it and all that. And I like this guy from CNN. Those of you who watch CNN or what, his name is John Miller. Used to be a former FBI guy and an attorney general or whatever he is. He's very good. And this Charlie Kirk thing, it when I say this, I don't mean this in a lurid way. It fascinates me and all that because it is so damn tragic and so utterly, I mean, so sad. And then you have the vice president, I guess, flew out to the residence, or I guess, excuse me, there in Utah, got the remains of Charlie Kirk, his widow, the two young kids, and then they flew on Air Force Two and got the remains back to his home. And of all places, by the way, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona, where presumably they'll have a funeral in a few days. But look, if I'm the head of the FBI, right, and I fly cross country to be at this press conference, you don't say anything? That's just plain old weird. And well, you might say, well, maybe he didn't have anything to say. Okay. Well, why the hell did he fly across country? I don't get that. Was it so he could show himself as if he was doing the job or what have you? And he had the assistant guy there. By the way, his name is Dan Bongino. If that name rings a bell, Dan Bongino used to be a radio talk show host. And he threatened a couple of months ago. Remember the big brouhaha over the Epstein files, basically saying, look, transparency exists in my world. We have to have more transparency here. Otherwise, I'm out of here, basically, is what he said. And then all of a sudden, nothing, silence. Speaking of which, so FBI guy Kash Patel, head of the FBI, flies out here, goes to the press conference, doesn't say a word. The Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi from Florida, She's been in the Jimmy Hoffa program. We don't hear anything. We don't see her, nothing. Now you might say, well, she's attorney general. And assuming they catch this guy, they'll have indictments. They got to get affidavits to, whatever. I get all that. But you don't say anything. You have Trump today at the White House. He was just emerging from the White House to go to New York to do the 9/11 shit and all that. And he has like a little mini press conference and people are shouting shit. And he referred to the killing, the assassination. He says, we got to catch these. It's all part of the left wing. Now, look, folks, I am not anti-Trump of late. I didn't vote for him, but I wasn't really thrilled about Harris. And there are a lot of subjects that I agree with on Trump. Some of his execution is not that great, in my opinion, obviously. But think about this. This guy is still on the loose. He could be, like I just said a little while ago, could be in another country. He could be anywhere. Think about this. They have all these images that they released and video and all that. Meanwhile, we don't know where he is. And, who the hell, he got a car perhaps, maybe he took an Uber. He could be in a kind of a looking, could be in a woman's outfit. Who knows? He could be in, a disguise. If this guy was as smart as he appears to have been, save for some of his actions and, not wearing gloves. But if you saw those images where it looks as if he's clenching his hands to remind himself that he can't touch railings and all that, I get all that. Yet, they still don't have him. They got some prints. They said they got a palm print and they got some other things, but they don't have him. But Trump would be livid. Anybody would be livid. You got two people you bring in, you do hours upon hours of interrogating, you got to release them, yet you don't have this guy. And it's true. Look, I know this is a difficult case, but with today's philosophy that we have, and we have forensics, and we have cameras everywhere, it's going to get to a point where there's cameras in the bathroom. There might be a camera in your own bathroom. You can't basically commit or execute a perfect crime anymore because there are surveillance cameras, not just at landmarks and public buildings and all sorts. There are cameras, surveillance, there are doorbell cameras and security cameras. I'm surprised that this guy is still out there. And I go to the chat room and I ask you guys, Pam, LM, the court of random opinion, Miss Lauren, and we'll get to the whole Laura Owens thing. I got a little bit of an update with Ron and Jan Black, but for now, this is bewildering that they have not caught this guy. Will they catch him? Probably. Now with these new images put out there. And as far as his glasses and the, anybody who knows this guy will know that it's him, even with the glasses. And, people are today asking me just a little while ago, what about the limp? He's got a noticeable limp. And I put two and two together and I said, he probably got that limp courtesy of that fall that he ended up taking, which he seemed to, figure that he was going to be just fine and dandy when they had that video of him up on that roof area to the right, or excuse me, to the left, that building that was roughly 150 yards away. He does what he did, his deed. He runs down this area and then he jumps off the building onto this grass. They follow him crossing a street and he goes into this wooded area, to which then the video ends. So I just found it bewildering and quite frankly, Keystone Copish isms that they have interviews. They have what's these called these crowdsourcing videos, which God knows how they do this. where they comb through these videos, and that's how they caught the Boston Marathon bomber. They were able to. I don't know how they do that. Some of you will let me know. I think it's amazing, but they don't have this guy in custody now. Are they still referring to him as a person of interest? I find that odd. I know legally they have to do that for a variety of reasons. They want to make sure that maybe he thinks, or they at least want to put it in his mindset that they're not really that hot after the trail, because they don't want to give him clues and he might really panic and get the hell out. They want to leave that notice that he's being pursued as a person of interest, not as a suspect. He's a suspect, you know that. Pam. Okay, hello, Pam again. Yes, Rich, how was your day today? I already answered that question. So, what do you guys have any interest in this whatsoever? I just it drives me crazy about CNN and these other networks that are going to be this bullshit, disingenuous. We're not going to show the whole video as you run ads making money off of this. Yeah, we got to see more pharmaceutical ads because we never see any pharmaceutical ads. That's what we see today, folks. Have you noticed these pharmaceutical ads are all over the place? Think about that for a moment. Where do they get all this money? Hmm. Hmm. There's nothing against the law by pharmaceutical companies promoting their pills, but I'll tell you what, that's all you see. Between that and the lawyers, oh my God. I mean, CNN, why don't you just, I wonder if they haven't done a show on pills and done semi programs and so anyway, that's just me. Let's see. Super chat. I mentioned some of the names. Karen Cars, let's see, Bruce. Echoes from the Tabernacle, Lauren Reed. Okay. Anybody want any questions for me? Yes, I know I look like. By the way, here's my quick impression. I've done this before, but some of you are new to the chat line, and you've never seen me do impressions. So here is my first impression of the night. Quick impression of Anderson Cooper. CNN, 60 Minutes, Anderson Cooper. Okay, thank you very much. Anderson Cooper. CNN pays him $12 million a year. No ratings. And by the way, I love Anderson Cooper. I think he's very good. I think women love him for a variety of reasons because they trust him. He is, he's a good journalist. It's just sometimes he can be a little, shall we say, non-lengthy in his presentation, but whatever. Gets a lot of money and, okay, 60 Minutes and all that. Side note on that too, by the way, on Anderson. Are you guys aware his mother, who died about 2 years ago, Gloria Vanderbilt, she of the Gloria Vanderbilt fortune, didn't leave him a penny. Now, I'm not sympathetic. I'm only mentioning it as a fact. Anderson Cooper, I'm sure he's not going to be at a soup kitchen in Manhattan any time soon. I just found it odd, yet you don't hear anything about this. And of course, the press, maybe the New York Times, but they don't want to piss off Anderson Cooper. Could be a very legitimate reason. I have no idea. Maybe there was, I don't know, turbulence between his mother and him. I just find it odd. She had a rather large MAGA million estate. Didn't give a penny to Anderson Cooper. Okay. Any questions for me, for Rich? I know it's late. By the way, I can't get on my other thing here. I got some new glasses and I can't get the sticker off. And I feel like a complete idiot and mentally retarded and all that, but I can't get off. So if you're wondering, what the fuck is that thing up on his glasses and all that, there you have it. What do we got here? Quick impression, ladies and gentlemen, of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Quick impression of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Okay, it's funny. I've done that joke before. It's a visual, it's quick. If you've seen it before and you don't think it's funny, great. If you've seen it before and you do think it's funny, fantastic. If you've never seen it before and you thought it was funny, okay. What do we got here? Oh, people are sending me things now. Now, folks, it's important at the very least, okay? Please, would you become a subscriber? Because that dictates whether or not Rich will have sex, okay? With somebody other than an inflatable doll. I'm just kidding. She wasn't inflatable. Name was Brenda Evans. I met her at the 7-Eleven in nearby Emeryville, California. I walked in, I said, "Baby, you're coming with me." And she told me, "You're under arrest." Okay. "You're coming with me." Okay. No, 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 I'm kidding. Look, I'm a very attractive man. I've had sex with multitudes of people, some to further my career, some who just wanted recognition. People like Roseanne, Moms Mabley, Esther Roll, good looking people. Toady Fields. I told Toady, "Stick with me and you'll be farting through silk." And there's another phone. See, folks, when I do this show, anybody could call in. Let's go to the phone. As Warner Wolf used to say, let's go to the video. In my case, let's go to the phone. So I'm going to go to the phone and say, who the hell is this? Call. Let me go here. Okay. Hello. Hello. You're live on YouTube. Okay. It was spam. I should have just stated it in the obvious, but you know what? We're doing a live show here. And by the way, people ask me, lots of people, what's the deal with Howard Stern? I have him on the background there and all that. And all this shit that you guys have been reading about, turns out it was an entire scam, or not scam, but a troll. So Howard Stern was putting out words, or there was a story that nobody followed up on, that people just took it for what it was. And of course, we don't have any journalism today, and nobody does any background checks and all shit. Anyway, there were word that Stern was going to be done with Sirius satellite, and all that. And I mean, there was another story that he was losing listeners and read whatever. Turns out it was a complete prank by Baba Booey himself, right? And so, look, I enjoy Howard. I think he's funny. I think I put up with a lot of people do. His whole thing with the lesbians and all this shit and all that. He has been doing that for years now. And I think he's a great interviewer. He makes me laugh. I know a lot of his material is very offensive. Only Howard Stern could get away with what he gets away with, but he's truly satirizing everybody. And I know a lot of you out there can't stand him, including some men. It's not just women. But I've actually followed him for multiple decades. And he puts me in tears sometimes. As an aside, a plug. Go into your computer and type in Howard Stern 9/11 broadcast. And it is, folks. You hear Howard Stern on the morning of 9/11 and how he covered this thing. It's brilliant. For a guy that, like a lot of us didn't know what the hell was going on. And, we saw the images there that kind of a thing. Let's go over here to the super chat. You're all this state. Are any of you like? Can you show me that you're alive, or that you're what? Well, okay. Heather Dawn Marks. I see a bunch of hot dogs there. Are those emojis that are hot dogs or what have you? But I'm trying to. Let's see here. Bruce the Moose. Hello, Bruce again. Are any of you out there active? Or you're just watching or hello? I'm going to put hello. Hello. And if you have any comments on this, again, this incident, this whole press conference, and I am active. All right, Heather Dawn. Okay. Hello, Heather. You're active. Zane. Let's see. Ella is active. Let's see here. And then, okay. Libby. Yes, we're watching. Oh my God. And somebody was asking me too about, the Laura Owens thing. All right. I haven't come out officially and said this, but the Owens family is still silent. There's nothing. Their mom. Now, I would gather they've been told to remain silent from lawyers. But the whole question about the GoFundMe money, the bankruptcy filing back last month that they haven't talked about, you might say, well, what are they going to say? Well, you could say a few things. And no doubt they've been talked to by lawyers who told them to basically shut the fuck up. You could say a few things. You can reassert the fact that the GoFundMe money, which by now is like at about $135,000, was not sent to lawyers. That's all bullshit. That's bullshit. And I don't know if I was somebody who gave them that kind of money, thinking that it was going to their basically well-being and all that, I would want to know where the money's going. Just me. We have another communications here. I want to go to this because who the hell knows? I told you there'd be surprises and things of that nature. So I'm going to go here. This is from Michael. Oh, we got a lot of texts coming in. And by the way, if you want to text me or call, but basically text, folks, it's easier. 415-999-4454. 415-999-4454. And, if I like your query, then I will talk about it. So we got somebody here from nearby. Let's see. Union City, California. Let's go here. This is Michael. I think you should wear a smoking jacket during your after dark. A smoking jacket, huh? Hi. I'm an incredible asshole. And I talk like this, but I have a smoking jacket on. Do you mind if I put out a lovely, I don't know, Upman and smoke a cigar? All right, thank you, Michael. We'll consider that part of there. That's Michael. What do we got here from the 405? Clayton was on Charlie Kirk, not Ron. As I said earlier, I said Ron did the Charlie Kirk show about a year ago, I think. But it was sometime, it is out there. And I only mentioned it as a factoid. I wasn't saying, this, that, or the other. I just said, I know he was on that show. And look it up. It's out there. I know it's out there. They told me, and I know people who saw it or read it or heard about it or it was on the radio and all that. So let me make that clear. Didn't watch it. It was on the radio. And I think most of these radio companies now have live streams. So maybe you saw it too. Whatever. Ron Owens was on the Charlie Kirk show about a year ago, maybe sooner, but I know that for a fact. All right, let's go over here. Bruce, is that leopard print in the back? Yes, I have a kinky fetish. I used to go to the zoo and pretend that I was a cheetah, and therefore I was any kind of leopard print, which I wore as kind of a semi Catwoman-y kind of a thing. It would turn me on, and it would spice up my life. So yes, I that is a lovely purchase that I made recently at the $2 store. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Uh, I just got it because it was clean. It was there, and I don't know. Could be leopard. Could be I don't know. It's just there. I'm not into leopards or cheetahs or whatever. I better put that out. So, Pam, I Googled and there is nothing for Ron and Charlie Kirk. Well, then either Ron's going nutty and Jan, who told me that they did the Charlie Kirk show. I'll back it up, or I'll try to at least. If I'm wrong, I will correct it. Okay. Thanks, Pam Arnold. LM Rich. Rich. What's with the Laura Owens update? Well, I think, she's silent and she's been sending off some rather curious type of signals or lack thereof. And I've seen Laura's show and she's talked about it. I just think everybody's kind of mum. I think there's more news now with regards to the lawyers. And, you guys have all talked about it and commented on it and all that. I think everybody is waiting for January. And another question that I get, you think there's going to be a plea deal? No, I don't. I could be wrong. I'm not a legal expert. I'm just giving you a hunch. There is makes no sense. The prosecution certainly, I don't think, wants to do anything in that regard. Her defense team, if they went and tried to get a deal, that would mean she was lying, and most likely would try to say, maybe she was out of her mind. She suffered from some kind of a, fill in the blank. No, I think this case is going to go to trial, and we'll get to the heart and soul of it, and we'll get an answer, I would assume. But people have asked me again. I have not looked at all the documents, folks. Just to clear it up too, I'm not lazy. It's just that's not my beat. I know I've seen certain things that cast aspersions on her. Who knows what's going on? I've also tried to walk a very thin line. I want to point this out too, because a lot of you might be, oh, he's just sucking up to them. Then I've had people tell me that, I'm falling shit on them now and I'm burying them and all that. So maybe it's good because both sides see me as either I was bought off, not true, or now I'm looking at, sympathy also. True, but also saying some of these accusations and the indictments and all that shit, I've said it all along. It's very, very frightening, very disturbing, and I'll leave it at that. And I have talked about, and not just exhausting now, forget lack of coverage here. There's been no coverage. They had those bullshit articles in what we constitute as a press here in a very large market, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and yet the shitty coverage. And I surmised that a lot of these people have been given not overt, but somewhat covert. Hey, let's not fuck with our own. Because Ron had a very, very dedicated, loyal following, many of whom he had on the air. Newspaper writers, columnists, that kind of a thing. But a story is a story. It's a news story. And I've lamented the fact that these people don't have any journalistic integrity in their fucking funny bone, which is one of the reasons why the San Francisco media hates me. and has tried very, very covertly to fuck with me, to try to delegitimize me. Which, folks, I need your help. I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need you, if you are able to, and I know a lot of you are doing very well in this economy. Some of you are not that well. I know a lot of you who are maybe on fixed incomes, or you're getting stock dividends. I don't know. I'm basically telling you what I'm surmising, guessing. If you can, throw me a financial donation. You guys are my advertisers. I know you guys get hit on. I'm talking as a whole every day. This charity, that charity, this and that. And, you know, I will just let you know this. Some of the biggest stars, like Mark Levin, Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, these are all multimillionaires. Hannity makes about 50 million a year, believe it or not. Yet he's asking for donations. Savage, a billionaire, his son used to own the Rockstar beverage. And by the way, I like Michael Savage as a entertainer. He's got money donating kind of thing. Donate to the Michael Savage Legal Fund. Well, come on, people. My point is, I am trying to rub two nickels together to pay for the expenses, to pay for my dates, to pay off potential stalkers who have had relationships with me and have taken me to court and said that I'm just joking about that. I shouldn't joke about that. So folks, I'm just trying to survive. And a lot of you have come here, and I know, again, you guys get hit up by everybody, every day. Donate this, donate that. And, as I have said, I've got a lot of people, not only who watch me, but used to read me. If every one of those people sent me $1, well, in one donation, I'd get about $20,000. That's not how it works. And a $5 hit here, a $50 hit there, 10, 20. If you are Elon Musk, for example, and you want to throw me about 350 million, that too is accepted. No donation is too small or too large. I'm not trying to become a millionaire. Okay. I'm not, who are those guys? Oh, yeah. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Tonight we're in beautiful San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm at the lavish home of one Rich Lieberman, laying on his leopard print with his $25 million hookup and his very lovely Zeon ring. Rich is spectacular. Okay, enough of that. Remember Robin Leach? Used to watch it every Saturday night. So, folks, I'm just saying, $5 here, $10 there, buck here, a buck. You say tomato, I say tomato. It's my Louis Armstrong. You say tomato, I say tomato, tomato, tomato. Okay. Where did that movie come from? Speaking of questions, where did that come from? Was it it was from another movie, but it was from a major movie, 1989. It was very famous, made a lot of money. Those of you who get it will get a free box of some lovely Neapolitan ice cream sandwiches made not too far from this area. Okay. As Columbo would have told me, excuse me, pardon me, I love to donate to your cause, but I don't know what to do. Am I bothering you? Because if I'm bothering you, I will let you know and I'll give you $7. Okay. Thank you, Columbo. So who do we got here? Oh, somebody just gave me $2. Cheers. Is that $2 or $11? No, it's $2. $1.99. Cup of coffee. I don't think you can get a coffee these days for $1.99. You can't even get 7-Eleven coffee, which I don't drink anymore. Because, but thank you. No, thank you. Whoever was that? Fozzie? Pazzi. Fozzie. Thank you. Zim now, $1.99. Geez, I just made $4. This is Andy Rooney. When you have a super chat and you get $4 for coffee, where can you buy coffee for $4? Now, I took my girlfriend into a Starbucks and I said, can I get a cup of coffee? I gave them $4 and they looked at me like I was fucking Mike Wallace in the nude. You can't get $4 coffee. I like Starbucks. Last time I checked, it was $5. Now, I'm Andy Rooney. You would think that they would let me have the coffee pro bono, but I'm not that powerful. And that was Andy Rooney. And good evening. Good evening. This is Walter Cronkite. Although I've been dead for about 15 years, I'm still up in heaven talking like this. Why do I talk like this? Because I made 30 years of my life. People used to say I was honest, the most trusted man in America. Meanwhile, when I talked like this, it sounded as if I had a stick up my ass. But yet people thought I was sincere and trustworthy, especially the night of November 23rd, 1963. It was actually 12:20 Central Time. Ladies and gentlemen, President Kennedy has expired. At 12:23, it was announced from Parkland Hospital. Okay, all right, so enough about that. Could have picked a better day, like when he suddenly retired and CBS didn't have to pay him anymore. In which case, people from out in the open used to come. People talked about that. Even Johnny Carson. Remember Johnny Carson, the big late night? And Ed McMahon discussed the Kennedy assassination and everything else. Johnny was particularly, well, let's just talk to Johnny. That is some wild stuff. I did not know that. Ed, I was unaware of that. I didn't know that the Kennedy assassination would drive up so much momentum and people. Yes, sir. Oh, mighty great one. You are correct, sir. Oh, yes. You are supreme and divine, mighty great one. Well, thank you, Ed. I didn't know I was that right, but I guess I am. This is some wild stuff. I did not know that. I was unaware of that. Anyway, all right. That was my. Who the fuck does Ed McMahon anymore, right? Who does Carson? Who does Yul Brenner? I am Yul Brenner. I am no longer on the planet. Don't smoke, because if you smoke, more than likely you will be me. And I'm not talking about the movies, I'm talking about heaven. And even though heaven is okay these days, I'm still dead. Okay, that was Yul Brenner. But let's talk to a guy that used to be the governor of the state of California, an alleged actor. I'll be back. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. I am right now busy talking to my babysitter. Oh, if you know what I mean. Okay. Now we got cash flying everywhere. Let's see here. Oh, we have people pressing the big button. The caps. Who are these people? Who are Who are these people? That's Jerry Seinfeld. Who are these people? I mean, who is this? All right, let's go to the super chat. Show us the TV remote. Oh, good. I got somebody. I fucked up today. Thank you. Okay, here's the. I have a new television, right? It was a donation from a somebody, and I fucked up, and I accidentally hit the button. Now this is my remote. This is my old-fashioned remote, and then this is the from the actual Samsung TV. Let me post it up there. Okay, there you go. See that? And I touched some button. Now it's off now. But what I did is I fucked up, and it went from CNN and the various other cable outlets to Google TV, or not Google, but Netflix and Prime and all that. So, you know what? Maybe who is this guy? I really appreciate this. What I could do is I can leave you my. Well, if you call me later after this broadcast, I will get you some Neapolitan ice cream sandwiches as a thank you. If you can help me, I don't have any cash on me. Wait a minute. Hi, this is Reverend Ike. When I'm pulling through the church pews and asking for money. No. But yeah, is that cool? 415-999-4454 is the hot number. If you want to text me, call me. If you're women that are not offended and you would like to meet a desperate man, I look like it in a game of hide and go seek. You know, but anyway, yeah. That's how you get in touch with me. 415, and by the way, keep it sanitized. There is local law enforcement that lives nearby. You ever heard of Steve McGarrett? 50. His grandson lives right next door. And I always used to tell McGarrett, Jack Lord, his grandson. He'd ask me, well, who are you? I'd say, I'm Cam Fong as Chin Ho. That's an inside joke. Those of you who are laughing hysterically right now, who are Hawaii Five-0 fans, you're laughing. Those of you that don't know, don't give a shit, you're probably saying, this guy, he's weird. He's weird. It's like James Carville. Now, I do James Carville. Any of you out there know, here's Johnny. Thank you. That was Jane. Jana. Is it Jane or Jana? Okay. Any of you know who James Carville is? You have to know who he is, right? Do I see any sea of hands now? Let's see. Current affair. Is there a function button? I'm going to get back to you. QZVX. Oh, is that Jason Remington? That's Jason. Jason did a hell of an article on me. Is that you, Jason? With the caps, super chat. Go. I don't have the link on top of my head. Just Google my name, Rich Lieberman, Seattle Media, and Jason Remington, the author and the head of this great publication. And we will, yeah, that is you. Like Remington Steel, just type in Remington, Rich Lieberman. You'll see this great article that ran about a week ago. And it's rather cool and got a lot of response. And I'm doing a lot of programs based on it. So Jason, you got a lot of pull. You've got a lot of that. So yeah, you'll call me and talk about how they get this fucking monitor back to CNN and all that, and how I fucked up and whatever. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, Johnny. Oh yeah, do Carville. Okay, so who wants to hear my James Carville? Do I see any hands out there? One more thing. Columbo. Okay, I'll do Columbo. I just did Columbo, but I'll do it again. Let's see. Elon Musk. I'm sorry. I donated all my money to Ron's GoFundMe, and now I'm broke. Yeah, very funny. Probably did. I wouldn't have doubted it. So anyway, James Carville was on a lot of times on Meet the Press back in the 90s, right? And then when Bill Clinton was president, he used to talk like this. He was the Louisiana guy, the bald headed guy with the glasses. And he would say things like, you know what? The fucking Republicans, they don't play games. They're busting out. The Democrats are a bunch of pussies. They don't know how to play ball. Folks, this is war. This is war. I worked in the war room with President Clinton. And Clinton know how to play game. He was game. And now we have these fucking termites called the Democrat. They don't know how to play. They don't know how to do game. And they got to understand the Republicans now, they're fucking mercenaries. Trump, I'm not a big Trump guy. Never have been. But the guy knows how to play game when there's shit going on now. Folks, this is war. Okay, that's my James Carville. Okay. Do I get a... Okay. People are either dying or, what have you. I got $4 still. Okay, let's see. Who else is out there? Oh, Columbo. You still want to hear Columbo? Is that Zeem? Is it Zeem or Zyme? All right. Well, one of the programs that I liked a lot in the 80s and the 90s was Peter Falk and Columbo. Because, excuse me, ma'am, am I bothering you? Because if I'm bothering you, I will leave. I will vacate the premises and go away. I'm just trying, it would be sounding better if I had on the trench coat and all that shit, but I don't. So, I gave you that. And, and then my favorite, now this is if somebody watches Dateline, I am going to do something. And I've done the impression before, but I haven't done it much lately. So those of you that watch Dateline, anybody ever heard of Keith Morrison? Keith Morrison. Keith Morrison is the star correspondent for Dateline. And he did these lurid stories, and he still does. And he talks to these murderers who've committed some really nasty, lurid crimes, right? So I'm just going to do a Keith Morrison. It's a visual. You got to kind of be there, but I'll do the best I can. You tell me if you like it or not. Okay. Keith Morrison, NBC, Dateline. I'm Keith Morrison. Tonight we're going to talk about a very, very nasty murder. Took place in a Boston suburb, Watertown. Jimmy Smith was a very, very peaceful mailman. One night he got agitated, came home, and for no apparent reason took an axe and chopped his mother in half. Are we getting close? He was caught and sent to the local penitentiary. We didn't get all the details, but not only did Jimmy chop his mother in half, he cut her eyes out. Did the same to his father. Jimmy was a peaceful kind of a guy. Never knew that he was this violent and destructive till I went and interviewed him right there from the jail cell. And I asked him directly, Jimmy, what was on your mind? What did you actually do? Well, Keith, I did what I did because I was angry and I overreacted. But I had to do it. I just had to do it. You mean chopping your mother up in half with a pickaxe? And what else? Well, I cut her eyes out. I put them on a barbecue. On a barbecue? Wow. Anything else? What did you do to your father? Well, for him, I took another pickaxe and I hit him in the head. And all this guts spilled out. Guts spilled out, your dad? What else? Well, I cut his eyes out too. Eyes were cut out, your father and your mother's eyes, you cut them out? What else did you do? Well, I was angry I may have overreacted, but I took his legs off and cut up his toes. You cut his toes off? Your daddy? Yeah. Wow. What else did you do? Or was that about it? That's about it. Jimmy is now serving a lifetime in prison for overreacting at his parents and cutting up their feet and their toes and chopping them into little morsels. We here at Dateline couldn't resist the opportunity to go and interview Jimmy. And I'm Keith Morrison, and what you've just found out is something quite interesting, like chopped up toes, poked out eyes, guts and blood. Hmm. Yeah. All right. Do I get a round of applause? Thank you. That's Keith Morrison. Rich, let's see. We have another. Let's see here. As a younger Bay Area sports fan who wants the most information about your teams, they're all gone. My teams, they're in Vegas. What station would you suggest? Oh, isn't that funny? Well, isn't that funny? I sound like Paul Lynde. Remember Paul Lynde on Hollywood Squares? They'd ask him a question, and he'd say, "Oh, ridiculous." Well, truly, they both are not very entertaining. Look, I've talked about the local station here, KNBR. I talked about it today. Ratings, free fall. They're not very entertaining. When you put very unqualified people, even in this day and age, on the radio who think they're spectacular or who think they're really great, they're shit. The KNBR survives basically on the Giants and now, of course, the 49ers, NFL. And they had a really, really poor August ratings. So who knows? But I would say 95.7 the game it's not saying a lot. But that's where I go to now. I have a preset on my car, and yeah, that's where I go. So I hope I answered your question, Fozzie. Oh, you're the one who gave me the $2. I see. I Heartburn Central. I have no idea. I had a very shows you. They tell you eat salad or eat whatever. And what did I have tonight? Oh, I had this burger that everybody's raving about. The is it Hobbit, or whatever. I got some coupon that somebody gave me, and yeah, God, it was all right. But anyway, now I've got heartburn, and they make a good salad. It's a pre-made thing, but in any event, any other questions out there? Let's see, Emma now. Oh, hi, Emma. Emma, if that's you, your little emoji. Damn, I mean, you are cute. All right, Fozzie, thank you. Are there any good radio news stations that you suggest? Yeah, if you want to listen to what is it? KNX in LA. And I have an iPhone. I just go put knx.com, grab it off. You don't even have to have an app. And you click, they have a listen button. You're right there. And it's they have news and they have commercials like everybody else, but nothing is free. But they do a hell of a job, and they have reporters that have been there forever, like John Baird, Pete Demetrio. They know LA. It's an old-fashioned is KNX, the old news station. They've been covering news, and they cover the national stories. Obviously, they cover LA. Look, to give you an idea how good I think these guys are at KNX, when they had the fires in January, right? The big, terrible fires, I put KNX on. That was my go-to, and it was terrific. They had eyewitness accounts. They had reporters who, like I said, they know the geography. They know where to go. They have contacts in the fire department and the police department, and they gave you information. And, the fire, which was, I still can't believe, you believe that? It's now what? 8 months? January? A fire that we only thought existed in like September, October. took place in January and did the kind of destruction that it did. So to answer your question, locally, I think we're hopeless. Um, I don't know, frankly, what to do in terms of local. I can't recommend because I've been so critical of KCBS and they're the shits. Sorry, just stated. And I'm not giving anything. I have an axe to grind or anything like that. I'm just telling you how I see it. It's my opinion. You may agree, you may disagree. For good news, solid news coverage in LA and beyond, KNX, they are terrific. Who else we got here? Um, let's see. Oh, KSCO. Well, the only problem with that, and this is from my friend Zeem now. Um, their local news is only in the afternoon and morning. So, and it's a short little news kind of a deal. But look, at least they do somewhat of news talk and all that. So I gave them a plug. I was on their radio station yesterday talking about the Charlie Kirk thing. Fozzie, thank you. Appreciate it. Listening from Martinez, California. Oh, that I believe the birthplace of one Joe. Was it Joe DiMaggio or am I? Born in Martinez, raised in San Francisco. And I think, am I mistaken that the martini was actually uh, invented in Martinez, or am I wrong on that? I don't know. He'll know. Yeah, KSCO. They do a decent job. Let's see what else do we got here. Starbucks. The prices are going to go up at Starbucks, of course. Isn't it always convenient when they say the coffee beans are having a coffee bean problem in South America, and the coffee's going to go up. I get it all. Okay, so I've said enough. My voice is going to hell as it always does. I need to get water. And I'm going to do another one of these things. What's today? Thursday. So depending upon my mood, I will be here Saturday, and I'll probably go on around 5 o'clock Pacific because I know a lot of you are from the East Coast, and maybe you're not going to go out, what have you, and you want to be listening or watching Rich because you just don't know what the hell he'll do. So, and as for the guy that's going to help me get back into this television mode, 415-999-4454. Like me here, become a subscriber on YouTube. That's important. If you want to donate, that's great too, please. And, I do a show. Folks, I have no notes, okay? I'm proud of that. I can command. You're not always going to get, Jerry Seinfeld, but you are going to get a real show. We are live and you can interact. And I appreciate all of you who have come on to the super chat line and have helped me build an initial audience. You hear that, YouTube? And I'm going to be here because I know a lot of you folks, this is cool. Like you want a place that you can vent and talk and whatever. And we'll talk more about Laura Owens and Ron and Jan Black. Of course, I know that a lot of you are here for that. And I'll give my opinion and I'll update you if there is any updates. Okay. So if you want to email me, rich.lieberman@gmail.com. I gave you the text number, 415-999-4454. Most importantly, become a subscriber here on YouTube. Okay. And on my social media, it's at Rich415 Media. I'm constantly on X, which used to be Twitter, and there is where I post when I'm going to do another After Dark. I think Saturday at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock East Coast time, and we will be back. Hey, thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.